Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you can play a song called At the Beach by the Avett Brothers. And we're going to start out on a C major chord. And the way you play C major, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the D string on the second fret, third finger on the A string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major, we're going to be going to a G major chord for our verse and our chorus. And the way you play G major, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret, second finger is going to go to the low E string on the third fret, and the third finger is going to go to the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now there are a couple other voicings you may want to play around with for those chords though. And instead of the C major, you could play something called C major 9. The way you play C major 9, first finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret, second finger on the A string on the third fret, third finger on the B string on the third fret, and the pinky is going to go to the high E string on the third fret. And if you kind of strum just the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major 9. And then from C major 9, actually another way you can play the G major is just to take the first finger and the second finger and kind of put them on the A string and the low E string. So now I got first finger on the A string, second finger on the low E string, third finger on the B string, third, pinky on the high E string, third. And that's another way you can kind of play your G major. And actually a lot of our tune actually is just kind of alternating between C major, G major, G major. But a lot of times with a song like this, to make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down. So one really easy way to do it is if you took the C and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down. So we're going to do that a lot with your right hand to get used to it. And if we try that through our intro verse progression, we got C with a down, down, up, down, C with a down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down. Now there's this cool lick that kind of happens on the C chord though, where you kind of play second fret on the A string and kind of do a hammer on to the third fret on the A string. And you can kind of do that leaving the third and the fourth finger down. And you can almost kind of make that kind of part of your C chord. So if you did kind of your C with your down and then did the hammer on and kind of kept the down, up, down going. So you got down, hammer on, down, up, down, C, down, hammer on, down, up, down, up. And then that lick kind of gets duplicated on the low E string from the second fret on the low E string to the G chord. So on that first down, you can kind of do kind of the down and then kind of a hammer on in that lick. Now if you wanted to, actually this is kind of playing around with bass notes. And basically the way this works is a lot of times with that down, down, up, down, you could add a bass note to it. So on the C chord you could do an A string for the bass and then kind of keep your down, down, up, down, up going. So you kind of turn it into a bass down, up, down, up. And then on your G chord, your low E string is kind of your bass note on that chord. So that's kind of where that lick is kind of happening, is on that bass down, up, down, up, bass down, up, down, G with the bass down, up, down, G, bass down, up, down. So you want to play around with that too. Now the actual strum pattern of the tune though sounds more like it's working off of something called a 16th note. And what I mean by that is right now our down, down, up, down, and our bass down, up, down, are kind of working off a division of the beat or the foot tap of 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that foot tap into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what it really kind of sounds like in the recording is that they're doing a down, up, down, up, down, up, 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you take the C and kind of try doing a down on 1, up on 4, then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do a up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down. And then on the third beat, you'd be doing an up on 2, up on 4. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, up. And then on the last beat, you'd be doing down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, up, 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 down, up. And what could be kind kind of cool is to get that lick in, kind of on that first down as kind of a bass, and then a up, and then go back to that lick for the other down, and then carry it out with your up, down, up. So you kind of have kind of the two hammer on, up, two hammer on, up, down, up, two hammer on, up, two hammer on, up, down, G, two hammer on, up, two hammer on, up, down, C, baby, up, C, up, down, C, going through most of the tune actually until we get to our chorus part. And on our chorus part, it starts out that same way, but then we go to a D major. When we play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the high E string on the 2nd fret, third finger goes to the B string on the 3rd fret, and if you kind of strum just the D, G, E, D, that sounds a D major chord and it sounds really, really happy. And on the D, if you wanted to kind of work the bass note, it would actually be on the D string. So you have a D bass down, up, down, up, D with the D bass, down, up, down. So right at the end of our chorus, we kind of have a D chord, and then we kind of do a C with kind of a big down here. And then there's actually something that comes in called harmonics. And what harmonics are is where you lightly touch the string, and actually the 12th fret is what it sounds like they're doing. So I'm actually not pressing down all the way, I'm kind of just lightly touching the string. And what it sounds like is almost like a harmonic hit on the D and G string on the 12th fret. And then there's this cool little lead guitar part that comes in where you play 10 on the high E string, and then 12 on the B, and then 10 on the B, and then 12 on the G string. So on that part, actually kind of coming out of your C part, you'd have, if we're doing with the down, down, up, down, you'd have C, down, down, C, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D with the bass, down, up, down, C with down hit, harmonics, and then 10, 12, 10, 12, and then we kind of carry that on into our solo part. And our solo part is actually working that same hit, but just to try our chorus with kind of the 16th note feel, because you'd actually feel that in with the same basses on the D chord, actually kind of working the D basses. So you have C with the bass, up, bass, up, down, C bass, up, bass, up, down, G bass, up, G bass, up, down, G bass, up, bass, up, down, D the bass, up, down, C hit, harmonics. That's kind of the lead in for our solo. And our solo actually goes right back to kind of our intro and our verse progression, where you kind of the C twice and the G twice through that part. And there's actually kind of this cool little hit at the very end of our solo, where on the last G of the solo, we kind of, if we're doing down, up, you kind of do bass, down, down, kill it. So you almost kind of like a little punctuation on the G chord, just to kind of punch it. If you're doing the 16th note pattern, it'd be kind of more of a bass, bass, down, kill it. So at the very, very end, you got kind of your C, G. It's kind of a punctuation. Now there are a lot of really cool licks through that solo part though, and right after that 10, 12, 10, 12 that we use right at the end of the chorus, you'd be back to 10 on the B string, 12 on the G, 9 on the G, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, and then 12 on the G, 9 on the G, 12 on the G, and then 9 on the G. So 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9. And then we go to 13 on the B string, 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, and then 10 on the B, 12 on the B, 10 on the B, and then 12 on the G string. So 13, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. And then we kind of go back to that high E10, and then 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, and then 9 on the G, and then back to 12 on the G. So we're back to kind of that 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12. And then we go to 10 on the high E string, 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, 9 on the G, and then back to 12 on the G. So we got 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12. And then there's this cool little hit where you could kind of take 7 on the high E string and 8th on the B string at the same time, and kind of do some little hits on those chords. So you never want to think about doing down ups or down ups, through that part. And then there's this cool little hammer-on lick where you go open G to 2nd fret as a hammer-on, and then play open B. So we got O to O, and you do that 5 times. So it's kind of hammer-on, open, O to O, O to O, O to O, O to O. And then we go to the D string and kind of do that same lick from open to 2nd on the D string, open G. After that last 2 O2, we kind of hit a big G, and that's kind of where that stop time happens in the solo part. So you've got kind of that 7 and A, O2, O2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, O2, 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 G chord, kill it. And then from there, then we'd be going back into our verse part. So we tried that with our 16th note with the basses. We'd have C with the bass, up, bass, up, down, C bass, up, bass, up, down, C bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, down, C bass, up, bass, up, down, C bass, up, bass, up, down, C bass, up, bass, down, C bass, up, bass, down. And then we get to a cool part of the verse where you just kind of do the C with that stop time. And another stop time, so kind of 2 downs on the C. And then you pick it right back up on the C chord, and then we go right into the G chord, kind of on that 2nd chorus. And then we got the D chord, B, C hit. And you can even throw that lick back in. And then we're off into another solo. And so, but this solo actually kind of leads into our bridge part. And this is a little weird. We do our C twice, and then we go to a G, and then we go to another G, and then we go to another C, and another C, and another G, and another G. But then we go to an A minor chord, and when we play A minor, first finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger is going to go to the D on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like an A minor chord. That sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we go to the D major chord. And then we kind of go back to the A minor with just kind of a big down, and then a D major with a big down. So we tried kind of that 2nd solo with our bass down, up, down, up. We'd have C with the bass, down, down, 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 C with an A bass, down, down, C with the bass, down, down, C with the bass, down, down, C with the bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, down, big A minor, big D. Or if we tried that with our 16th note strum pattern, then we'd have C with a bass, bass, down, bass, bass, down, bass, bass, down, bass, bass, down, C bass, bass, down, bass, bass, down, bass, bass, down, bass. And the A minor would have the A bass, so we got A bass, bass, down, D bass, down, big A minor, big D major. And then from there, then we'd be going into our bridge part. And our bridge kind of starts on the G major chord, but then we go to an E minor chord. And when we play E minor, first finger is going to stay on the A string 2nd fret, 2nd finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. Through the bridge, it almost sounds like it's just big downs on everything. So you kind of got big G, big E minor, big A minor, big D major, big G major, big E minor, big A minor, big D major. And then we kind of pick it back up on our verse chorus. Then we could be back to the C with the bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, down, bass, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, bass, down, bass, down. And then we'd be into our last chorus. So we got our C with the bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, bass, up, bass, up, down, bass, down, big C. And then we kind of ride it out. But I think for myself, actually, at the very, very end, I'd play a big G major. Just to make people clap. But that's the basics of how you could strum through At the Beach by the Avett Brothers. So good luck!